In association with RM. Exciting learning.
The Hadley Learning Community is a £60 million PFI development in Telford, Shropshire. An extended school with integrated primary and secondary phases. It's a cutting-edge facility designed to be the school of tomorrow, today. This land on the outskirts of Telford used to be playing fields, but then this began. The Hadley Learning Community, 700 rooms, 200 teachers, 2,000 pupils in foundation, primary and secondary and adult education, and a special school. It's a blueprint for building schools for the future, a radical take on cross-phase learning and extended leadership. A team of teachers and builders have delivered the most modern and expensive school in Britain.
I am in no doubt it will open in September '06. I don't even want to think about it if it isn't.
If you were coming to a school fresh, where there were no constraints to the curriculum, what would you like children to study in design and technology? What would you like children to study in modern foreign languages? And when would you like them to study it?
Philosophy is excellent classroom practice, and we've watched everybody that we've appointed teach, which has been a huge job, but every minute worthwhile.
18 months ago, Principal Jill Eatough was appointed by the Borough of Telford and Wrekin. She had to make sure the HLC was built right, was staffed right, and had the right curriculum for its pupils. A huge challenge, not a job for the faint-hearted.
It's going to be a long day, this one, I think. I've got a lot to do, and room sign-offs and things, and checking everything. And I think we're all losing the will to live, actually. I think most of these rooms, then, I've done, haven't I? We are under enormous pressure on this project. At the moment, it's still all really dependent on me. You know, I am the Hadley Learning Community. And it isn't getting me down, but I'm just aware that there is still some big stuff that we've got to do. Yeah. Yeah, I feel slightly pressurised at the moment on that volume of work. At the end of the day, if I can't afford it, I can't put interactive whiteboards into every teaching base in secondary. And if I don't do that, then I have to think about what else I do. Well, we can't do this until the permanent governing body is in post. No, it's not that simple. And we need to be clear who's coming in and out, because they could just, you know, abduct a secondary school pupil before we know what's going on.
Hadley is on the poorer side of the tracks in the borough of Telford and Wrekin, and the local people have been hit hard by the demise of traditional industry. But the HLC is designed to offer lifelong learning opportunities that could reinvigorate the area. The site was derelict for 10 years after an old secondary school was demolished, and includes playing fields bequeathed to the community 100 years ago. The design is based on a wheel with the blocks that house individual schools radiating around the rim. There's a special school for the profoundly disabled, a primary phase, a secondary school wing, and a children's centre and community facilities. It's March 2005 and the concrete framework is taking shape. Massive progress has been made in just 4 months. 2 years of intensive planning work is starting to pay off.
OK, were we going to have 1.5 doors for ICT, were we?
Architects spend a lot of time designing the concept for the building and the way it's located on the Hadley site. But teachers have taken charge of the educational requirements and what happens inside the building. Jill Eatough takes responsibility for how the rooms are laid out and equipped.
Doors and positions. Yep, OK. So shall we sign this drawing then?
Yep. That's just one room done. Jill and Interserve design manager Andrew Jones have got 699 more to do.
What I'm trying to do here is make sure that in this staff workroom I've got sufficient workstations, bins and the pin boards and the coat hook. And they're the sort of things that irritate staff if they haven't got anywhere to hang their coats or whatever.
After a year working pretty much by herself, Jill's now got 2 vice principals working with her full-time. Paul Topping is vice principal with responsibility for leading the secondary phase.
I'm sure we will get on very well together, but you know, you're always a little apprehensive about that because you're dovetailing your ideas with people you've not worked with for great lengths of time, and we need to make sure that our vision for the organisation is coherent and is one that we can put into practice.
Erica Aston is head of the primary phase. After 5 years' experience running primary schools in Telford, the HLC is a great career opportunity.
Hadley is the right place for me to be, and it's come at the right time of my career as well. I'm ready for something different and something bigger.
It's 8 a.m. in the HLC office in Telford Civic Buildings. Jill, Paul and Erica are working well together. The leadership team is up and running. Today's agenda includes meeting with the uniform suppliers. A logo has been designed, and it's the first time the teams see what the pupils will be wearing next September.
What I like is it's such a different image from any other school.
Yeah.
It does match beautifully across, doesn't it?
But Paul wasn't happy with the school tie samples.
With all the different colours. I'm not sold on the tie yet. I'd like to look at the opportunity of moving away from a stripe because that's the traditional school tie.
Would you want it, not necessarily in a diagonal stripe, but do that with it?
It's difficult to see it until it's on the uniform.
Winter 2005 sees a huge amount of progress on site. The primary school buildings get their Danish steel and timber windows. The wooden beams supporting the canopy and the forum go in, and the textured concrete panels are nearly all in situ.
I love these glass towers.
It's time for the principal and the design manager to check on progress.
That's the creche. All of that will be the signature colour, but I want all this carpeted as well. What's going to happen on these stairs then?
If we can afford it, it'll be stainless steel and glass. This will become the swimming pool.
Cedar roof. So here's my office, and there's my roof.
Each one's got a different coloured flower.
It's going to look amazing. Welcome to the Hadley Learning Community. Looks amazing.
But a school building is nothing without a good workforce. One of the biggest challenges is to recruit more than 120 teachers and their support team.
I made the deliberate decision right at the onset of this process that I would appoint every single member of staff, teaching and support staff, for the opening. So I've interviewed every teacher that I've appointed.
Paul and Jill's shortlist.
She looks good.
She's obviously very experienced. Thank you too. Thank you too.
Make sure we've got someone with a degree in music.
Yeah. No.
I quite like arrogant people because I'm arrogant myself. No, that's a good reason to say no.
They're all the no vocals. Very experienced.
Oh my God. He's going to take a pay cut then to come to us. Where's he then? Quite interesting application. Bar the fact he can't spell Hadley.
We could call all 7 and one of them's bound to pull out.
When are we doing this?
Next Monday. You're looking for that spark, which is saying that, you know, this person's going to be something special when we're in a classroom, but it's always a gamble.
Well done. Excellent. Yay! Well done. Well done.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Go on, tell them.
For some, it's good news. For others, it's devastating.
Doesn't matter. Go back.
George Armstrong taught PE for 16 years at one of the 3 schools closing down to feed the HLC. He feels betrayed by a system which means a younger man getting a post he'd hope would be his.
Keep your eyes on it. Watch the ball.
Being a 50-year-old PE teacher who wants to employ somebody who's 50 when they can employ somebody who's 27. You go into a teaching career and you think you're in teaching for life unless you choose not to be. And I was choosing to teach PE until I was 60 and pack in then. I did not expect, never expected not to have a teaching job because the school was closing. But God help anybody as it happened to them, because you put in place your mortgages and things like that thinking you've got a job for life, and then you haven't. And it's been like a kick in the teeth, really.
The HLC is a specialist engineering college with a showpiece engineering gallery, big enough to get a double-decker bus inside. The right director of the faculty was a key appointment. 4 shortlisted candidates, rather inevitably all male, are shown around during a 2-day selection process.
We have got to get the right person for this. The engineering specialism underpins the entire curriculum, and we've got to get somebody who's innovative and creative, but also, a really nice guy who, we can get on well with, who can really be part of our senior leadership team.
Okay, morning all.
All 4 have to show their skills in the classroom under the scrutiny of the selection committee. A grilling from a panel of 7 people is next.
Interviews are strange things. They're kind of frightening, yet when you're reaching the end, you're kind of thinking, yeah, I'm doing okay, it's going all right.
I could work with him.
He came across as a really nice guy.
I felt it went well and the kids apparently enjoyed it, so that's a good start.
I felt he was very comfortable with the kids.
He's dynamic enough and he's got a track record of success.
It's an exciting opportunity and one that I hope I'll be a part of.
What this candidate thought of the interview, we'll never know, as he left in rather a hurry.
He'll be a steady pair of hands, I think, and inject some innovation as well.
Everybody happy?
Yeah, I can offer him a job. Jeff? It's been a unanimous decision of the panel, but we would like to offer you the post of Director of Engineering at the Hadley Learning Community.
I don't want to. No, yeah.
Great, really, really well.
Thanks very much, cheers.
The circular layout of the HLC allows easy movement around a building, key to facilitating a cross-phase curriculum. Breakout spaces allow learning away from conventional classrooms. There's a cavernous learning resource centre with plenty of private study rooms. The restaurant overlooks the central forum, a calm, relaxing place for students to take time out or to use as an outdoor classroom. It's also a performance space which the community can share. The Bridge Special School is relocating to the HLC with all its staff. With a lot of emphasis being placed on the mainstream schools, head teacher Una Vandenberg had some concerns about whether Interserve understood exactly what a special school's requirements were.
I think at the beginning they just thought that they were just building another bit of the Hadley Learning Community School, so to speak. But they began to understand that actually they were building a very special school and not just some sort of unit that was part of a mainstream school, and that was really important.
Finger 10.
She had a very clear idea of what she wanted, and Una worked with Interserve to develop the design. Her specialist input was vital.
We couldn't build it without them, without their help. Because it's all very well, we can build a school to any shape, form, using any kind of materials, to any details you like. But it's getting that understanding of what their needs are that's been the most difficult thing of all to pick up. Because at the end of the day, the devil is in the detail. And it's getting that detail coordination right that's the hardest thing of all.
It's spring 2006, and the people of Hadley can see their community facilities taking shape. There's a swimming pool, and a theatre and dance studio. And the new bowling green, which Interserve had to move from the other end of the site, is now open. Before the feeder schools close, Jill Eatough and her leadership team go on a bit of a charm offensive to communicate the HLC vision and to win the trust of staff.
There is where we're going to be on year 1 in terms of the curriculum and where we're going to be on year 2. Not everything, I am realistic, is going to be in place in the way we want it for September. But what we have to do is look at where the key areas are and make sure we get those right.
Meetings are held throughout the spring term to outline policy and to field questions.
Right, questions. Uniform and children. Yes, we're having both.
With only 5 months before term starts, the HLC's new curriculum is still a work in progress. For some, it's a little bit too late.
I think they should have started a great deal earlier. When the building was started, the curriculum should be started, because the school is more than a fantastic building all singing, all dancing, with probes everywhere and interesting science going on. It's about the basic curriculum, and that needed really to start a long time ago. And Paul has been trying his best, but I think we're playing catch-up very much at the moment.
Okay.
Paul Topping, head of secondary, gives staff an opportunity to have a say in how the curriculum should be delivered.
I've always maintained that curriculum planning works best when it's a consultative process. And any head of department or assistant faculty leader worth their salt is going to want to have an input into how their subject is planned within the curriculum and how it's scheduled and timetabled.
As ever, the amount of time allocated to modern foreign languages is a bone of contention.
Low ability would get 2 and 1 hour of literacy and numeracy.
I've created 4 option blocks so far, and Spanish sits with business, drama and IT. The other alternative is to take languages out of an option block and say, well, you've got to top that up outside of curriculum time if you really want to do it. It's all provisional at the moment, you understand?
Yeah.
And there's a shock for Paul. His offer of extra maths time for students finding it difficult is not well received.
How can I put this? I'm not sure that maths teaching has been a strength of the school in the past, and I want it to be a feature of HLC teaching. And I want the children to have access to the time that they need to be able to do that.
Yeah. So that worries me because it could go against what we're trying to do in mainstream maths lessons, because they'll see it as a bolt-on or an add-on or a punishment because they're not good enough to do other subjects.
But there's no, I mean, it's not written in stone.
If my department is doing its job properly, the students are set properly, all the right students are in the right place with the right teacher in front of them, and the programme should be built for them within that curriculum.
But if you're saying, well, actually, we don't need that much maths time, I can redistribute it. And it's a long time since I've had curriculum leaders saying, well, actually, that's far too much time, take it away from me. It's always the reverse.
But I think it's refreshing that Emma is saying, though, actually, if we're doing our job properly and we've got a bit of extra time in Year 7, which is a springboard, because I think what we're focusing on here, isn't it, is that diet of the kids in the week.
As summer began, the labs in the secondary school are well advanced. The biomass boiler, which uses wood chips for fuel, is now commissioned. The server infrastructure for the ICT network is installed, and turf is being laid in the forum area. The primary leadership help Interserve make decisions about furniture.
You've got a little bit of something you had last year, moving into something a little bit more grown up all the time.
Absolutely.
So we've weaned them from multicoloured chairs, flower tables, to big grown-up chairs and big grown-up tables.
As a specialist college, the HLC will use state-of-the-art technology. With an online curriculum and schemes of work being posted on the school's server, how best to spend the £5 million allocation within the PFI contract is a crucial decision.
If you wanted to interact with the board from your seat, or you wanted to pass this around, then that's wireless slate so the children could.
The purpose of the slate is to be supportive of the board, additional to it.
I do not want teachers standing at the front of the class all of the time.
No, exactly.
Everyone is impressed with the kit demonstrated, but Interserve's Mark Smith issues a reality check about just how much cash Jill has to play with.
The budget was built up not using Promethea. But based on some of the numbers that we've got at the moment, that you won't be able to have what you want, I know, for the budget that's set. Yeah. So what I would ask you to do is to go away and have a look at the prices if you can.
Very happy to work that out. That's no issue at all.
As an extended school, the HLC opens at 7 o'clock in the morning and won't close until 10 o'clock at night. Community facilities and an adult learning centre mean that visitors will be arriving throughout the day, so it's a challenging site to make secure.
This is where the students are going to come in September. They'll walk in here. This is a nice big area for them to circulate in. There'll be some seating around, and then they'll come towards these pair of doors, and at the beginning of the day and at the end of the day they'll be open for students to move in and out of the secondary phase. But at other times in the day they'll be locked, and staff will be able to go through using their electronic key fob.
CCTV surveillance is necessary in any new school. The system designed for the HLC marries discretion with a robust security policy designed to keep people safe.
They're very discreet, aren't they?
Very discreet. In this particular space where you've got a lot of people, they can be under continuous observation without thinking they are security cameras, you know, they're within a sort of prison environment. It's just subtle, really.
Erica Aston, Vice Principal in charge of the primary phase, leads the design of the primary English curriculum.
We've got a change in framework, a change in thinking, a super new school to do it in. It's the best opportunity ever, isn't it, to get it right, really.
With the HLC being an extended school with a cross-phase curriculum, there are concerns among some primary teachers that the agenda might be dominated by their colleagues from the secondary phase.
I can see where you're coming from. It does look a bit at the moment as if secondary's hijacked this, and secondary background people are having these conversations which may well impact on the way that you do your job.
It doesn't have that feel around it, Bob, though, does it? At leadership level.
Well, it doesn't from where I'm sitting.
There are lots of things about effective primary practice that secondary colleagues need to learn. You know, and actually, if it's any way round, that's the way round it is.
They're using acronyms I've never heard of. They're talking about PIPs and DEWs.
Department that might be based around key ISP and PDMs.
And so, even a commonality of vocabulary, I'm going to have to be on a steep learning curve. I don't know what they're talking about.
3 months before the HLC opens and the loose furniture has been delivered, the classrooms are coming on, but the leadership team has a few qualms about their staff to talk over.
I think one of the things we probably haven't done right yet is to sort of explain carefully to staff what each of our roles is from September. There's 5 of us, yeah, and if there's a crisis or whatever, there's somebody there. But also, to be clear, that we are not going to be firefighting.
In June, a 2-day staff conference is convened to help address these issues. Jill presents the vision for the new school, which opens in just 10 weeks' time. The conference gives staff an opportunity to work with the leadership team at first hand.
Unless you indicated to me that you wanted to change, I've kept you with the same tutor group.
This document here is how the teaching structure is looking at the moment. All right?
And the leadership team can assess just how ready the staff are for the challenges ahead.
I sense at the moment that they're not ready to stand on their own 2 feet, some of them. And what we've got to do is, through our leadership of them, is say, yes, you can do that. No, you don't have to keep referring back to us. You are leading your faculty, you're leading your area, and we trust you to do that.
The HLC is being handed over in 2 stages, the secondary school in August and the rest in January 2007. And although the contract specifies precisely what buildings should be handed over first, Interserve are able to give the principal extra space and facilities ahead of time.
What we want to do is to give you 90% of that forum area.
That'd be fantastic.
Contractually, we give you the red line.
Yeah.
That way, but we're looking to give you majority of the forum, and also we'll try and give you the NEEP as well for the September handover.
We think we can give Jill some benefit by handing over sections which are in excess of what we contractually obliged to hand over in September for the first phase. We might be able to give her the main sports hall, which is not due to be handed over until January 2007. We may be able to give that to her at the October half term.
With the secondary school ready for handover, the builder whose job has been to manage the construction programme is the master of the understatement.
If I'm honest, it's another building to me. I don't look at it as if I'm offering somebody a school. I just look at it. My job is basically to build it. Yes, you have a certain amount of pride, and I'm proud of what I've done, but I'm not looking for a pat on the back. Again, get my wages, quite happy, get the job done, move on to the next one.
The secondary phase of the HLC will open on time. For Paul Topping and Jill Eatough, it's the end of the beginning, and they can now reflect on how the workload of the past 12 months has taken its toll.
It's been hard work. I wake up at 3 in the morning, just knowing that I've got to keep that particular plate spinning, or otherwise that one will fall down. I'm burning a candle at both ends here to try and get this thing complete. But you know, it's not been easy.
It has been constant pressure absolutely constant pressure from day one that I came into the job. It has been unrelenting. And I look back at it now and I think, so what have I spent 5 terms, 18 months doing? And then I walk around the building and I think, you know, this is what we've achieved.
The achievement is a school equipped for 21st century teaching and learning. They've been given the tools to do it. The challenge now for Jill Eatuff and her team is to deliver on the promise of new opportunities for the young people of Hadley. September the 5th, 2006, first day of the first term at the HLC.
Who wants to be first through to the new school?
4 years ago, it was just an idea. Today, the HLC is open for business.
Oh, well, prompt.
You won't be allowed in the
Yes, your
building
tie's too,
unless
Dan.
your tie's looking like mine. Do you want me to do it for you? Well, do it yourself quickly then, please.
That all-important first assembly.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Dr. You're a very special year group for us because it will be what you achieve over the next 5 years. That will be a measure of the success of the Hadley learning community.
I see you. Not dead.
Self-portrait.
Just tell me I can print the timetables for the next 10 minutes.
No.
Problems.
Who's got Mr. Birch?
It's me.
These aren't the right groups, you see.
I don't know where I am.
Every single child has to have, for them, their timetable. The data is corrupted, so all the work that was done has been lost.
The issue isn't with the timetable, it's with the kids in the teaching groups.
If we haven't got the timetables printed out for the next lesson, we can just have to tell the kids where to go.
Prime Soul group, right down to the bottom, year 9 downstairs.
Do you know where you're going? Good.
Good result. Keep smiling, Mr. T.
I'm just frazzled.
There are inevitable problems with a new building, but the leadership team are glad that things are settling down.
All the things that affect people's lives that we've tried to get right have worked well. So it's been a great week. Great week.
It's raining now.
I know. Where's this rain come from? It doesn't rain in the Hadley learning community. The sun always shines.